So, the Canadian Premier League released a new playoff format for the 2023 season this week, and that release has gone over not great. Following the 2021 and 2022 CPL seasons, which both had 4-team 1v4, 2v3 playoffs, however, with 2022 adding a 2-leg home and away semifinals, which 2021 did not have, to the mix, the CPL went and decided this year to change the playoff format yet again, this time giving us a page playoff format where we have a 4v5 matchup. Winner of that plays number 3. Winner of that plays the loser of 1v2, and winner of the 3 versus 4v5 winner game plays loser of 1v2 game, goes to the final to play the winner of the 1v2 game. Kind of confusing, not really the type of team sport playoff format that we're used to in Canada besides like curling or esports. Doing away with the 2-legged matchups that some people really enjoyed, and just giving us a new format that they said is to increase the importance of the regular season by making each regular season position that qualifies for the playoff mean a different thing. Now, confusing as it may be, it is an interesting playoff format. Not necessarily a good playoff format, an interesting playoff format. And the reaction from that release just completely split the fans. CPL Twitter was alight when it came out. A lot of people upset, some others saying that they were in favor of it. CPL Reddit put up a poll, which the results were very interesting, in over 200 responses, and equal amount of people having positive and negative reactions to this playoff format, a bunch more neutral about it. But that is just astonishing how equal the size of the groups in support of and against this playoff format are. The common negatives towards this format are that it's too many teams, which, yes, in an 8-team league to have 5 teams making the playoffs is not really ideal. I mean, it's ideal if you want to maximize the number of people watching the playoffs, but for the general fan, in terms of like keeping the excitement of the regular season going, especially if your team is in the upper half or upper third of the league, it makes it quite difficult when you know that 2/3 of the league are making it into the playoffs. In addition, a lot of people weren't huge fans of the 1v2 game. Like, you have to have 1v2 play a game if you're doing the 4v5, and the winner of that plays 3, then the winner of that goes on to the next round. But the 1v2 game, to have a playoff game that doesn't have you lose your out connotations to it, is a bit of a hard sell to fans. And also the fact that even with that 1v2 playoff game, the winner of that game still has to wait 14 days until the final. Now, with soccer playoffs, this has been a thing that's been a piece of debate in MLS for years, is that is resting actually a good thing for playoffs? Because yes, there is merit to saying, oh, having more rest between playing games is a good thing, but also falling out of form can be an issue, and 14 days is a long time to wait between playing games, especially if the team you're playing against just played last weekend. And in reality, if you're playing every weekend anyways, that's a pretty solid break in between to like rest up, and like if someone's not long-term injured, they're not really going to be missing a final game with a 1-week break. So in terms of healing up injuries, it's not really that much of a difference. What it does come down to is the form levels. And yes, having 2 weeks out from playing a game and then having the final, the biggest game of your season, coming after not having played for 2 weeks is a bit of a concern. So people were upset. I mean, it's Twitter. Even if it's CPL Twitter, it's still Twitter. People get upset on that site about Mr. Beast giving away shoes to people. I don't know why, but people were upset. People were voicing their concerns about this playoff format, which it is important, especially for the long-term growth of the league, that you get a playoff format that everyone's on board with. And obviously, so far, this hasn't really been it. What seems to have exacerbated the problem, though, is that One Soccer is nothing but high praise for this playoff format. Every One Soccer personality seems to be going online and talking about how this is a perfect playoff format, how it's the most important decision the Canadian Premier League has ever done to go to this playoff format, which for a playoff format, which as I've previously said, has completely split the fans in terms of like equal amounts of people are positive and negative about this. That's high praises to sing for something that is that controversial. And then when people are going and mentioning that to the One Soccer personalities on their Twitter feeds or whatever, the One Soccer personalities are acting personally offended, almost as if they were the ones that created this playoff format and are upset that people are disagreeing with their idea personally. Because there really isn't any other explanation as to why someone would respond to people criticizing a playoff format that they just reported on by insinuating that stopping to watch a league because of the playoff format is dumb, or insinuating that people are complaining that the perfect playoff format that has been imposed now is bad just because it's different, is if they created it. And it makes sense because the obvious reason as to why this playoff format is being put into place this season right now is that last season there was a 9-point gap between 4th place and 5th place in the Canadian Premier League. There was no marketable playoff race for One Soccer to drive up viewership in the last few weeks of the season. And that's something that's been mentioned several times by the One Soccer analysts about how putting the playoff line between 5th and 6th is going to create a better battle. Because last season there were 3 points between 5th and 6th. That went down to the last day, whereas 4th and 5th didn't. But in 2021, there was 1 point between 4th and 5th. So it's a knee-jerk reaction to one season. What happens this season if the gap between 5th and 6th all of a sudden is 5+ points? Are they going to say, oh no, the gap between 5th and 6th was too big to create a playoff battle. We have to move the spot now to include 6 because 6 and 7, that was a close gap this year. It's so obvious that they've just knee-jerked this reaction to this one almost inconsequential moment in last season where, oh, the top 4 were all within 3 points of each other, and then there was a gap to the bottom 4. And like, yeah, I get it, you didn't get the playoff battle you wanted last year, but you don't need to mess with a playoff format that was very well received last season to go and get that playoff battle. More people want good playoffs than good playoff battle, because at the end of the season, all anyone talks about is how great the playoffs were. Not a single fan was criticizing that there wasn't a playoff battle going into last season, but that's something that One Soccer keeps bringing up. That's one thing that the CPL kept bringing up. So it's obviously something that they wanted, not necessarily something that the fans wanted. And like, sure, not having a playoff battle ever sucks, but it was one season. In 2021, there was a great playoff battle right down to the last day. So to go and say because one time you didn't have a playoff race that went down to the last day, we need to switch up the entire system. Not necessarily something that gives me confidence in the ability of the leadership of this league to stick to a plan. Not necessarily something that gives me confidence in the ability of this league to not immediately change things the second it doesn't go 100% the way that they think it should. And this is now season 5 of the Canadian Premier League, and it's format 5. I think a lot of people, I myself, was very excited for last season because I was like, this is it. This is the first time that we finally get to see the Canadian Premier League season progress the way the Canadian Premier League season is going to progress. And then going and changing the playoff format in the way they have, adding another team to the playoff format, I'm like, well, I guess 2022 goes down like all the other previous seasons as something that we'll never see again. And now because they did that in a normal year, I'm like, well, I don't see this being the format that stays going forward. Like, there's no consistency in the Canadian Premier League, and I say consistency is key. You need to have people know what to expect. And right now, all we know what to expect as fans are something that can change every season. We now see that even if we have no outstanding factors in something that works, things can just get changed a month before the season starts. So it leads to a high level of confusion amongst the fans. Overall, fan reaction, the new format is eh. Personally, not a real fan. I like home and away playoffs for soccer. I think that is something that needs to happen more. Just the idea that both teams get a home game. Like, 2-game aggregate is the best way to do knockout competitions in football. So to move to that and then move away, especially in a year where Major League Soccer just moved to that blasphemous best of 3 round and then back to single leg rounds after 1 round of best of 3, to keep the CPL playoffs simple and traditional would have kept the CPL as almost the better place to see traditional football. So just also in the shadow of that, to go to a unique for Canada weird playoff format is, again, a weird decision. Like, it could work, but there's just so many weird little kinks in this format that I don't really like. And I think just the crux of it all is, yes, this playoff format where 5 teams make the playoffs and the higher you are in the regular season, the fewer games you have to play, works if you have way more teams. I think in the end, the crux of the issue is 5 teams making the playoffs in an 8-team league is just too many. If it was this format, top 5 make the playoffs in a 10 to 12 team league, yes, I think it would work a lot better. I think it would go down a lot better with the fan base. But to go and say that after you've played your 28-game regular season, where every team plays every other team 4 times, we can only confidently eliminate 3 teams. We can only confidently say, after every team has played every other team 4 times, that only 3 teams are not good enough to win the title. It's a bit of a pill to swallow. So, hey, if they keep this playoff format as they expand and they don't tinker with it again to, expand the number of teams making the playoffs as they go up to 9, 10, possibly more teams in the Canadian Premier League, maybe over time it will work. But to go with a 8-team league and do top 5, it's not doing it for me, and I don't think it's doing it for a lot of people. It's doing it for some people, but I think, again, the biggest hurdle is the number of teams that make it. So that is for this video. As always, if you'd like to hit like, if you want to see more of my stuff, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Link is down below in the description. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this new playoff format in the Canadian Premier League, and I will see you next time.